That's a peddling. That's a peddling. That's a Simpsons joke. Is it too old to... Hat picks. Hello, friend. Steve Dangle here, and welcome to another episode of Steve's Hat Picks, where we take a look at the best from around the NHL over the past week. And the best from around the NHL over the past week is the best, because it's the Stanley Cup Final, the two best teams, the best team from the East and the best team from the West. And they saved the best for nearly last. Adin Hill, welcome not only to the Paddle Save Emporium, but to a save of the year. I don't even think it's a candidate. I think this is the save of the year.
As he looked to the official for a call, back in comes Bennett. Dropping it off, a turn across, tic-tac, oh, what a stop! How did it not go in?
Desperation play, Montour in the tic-tac-toe, and just on the heel of his stick as he's sliding back the other way, just somehow able to anchor himself.
Stupid, truly stupid. The Florida Panthers have had the puck follow them around as if they were the Pied Piper, as if it was magnetic, as if it were magic. And in that one moment, it's like it broke the spell. Tkachuk to Cousins, Adin Hill absolutely robbing it with the paddle save of the year, and a little hat tip to Alex Pietrangelo stopping the second attempt afterward, because can you imagine if he made this save and then the Panthers scored on the rebound? Boo and hiss. I don't care who you're cheering for in this series, boo and hiss, because that is a save of the year. Goodness gracious, Adin Hill. Well, we'll just show this goal again in like a couple weeks when we do. Producer Nick, just save it for saves of the year or plays of the year, whatever we're doing. Hat picks of the year? Is that? Yeah, that's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, Adin Hill didn't make a save on this one. Eric Staal is 38.
He's got to go to the bench. Pietrangelo couldn't receive that pass, intercepted by Lundell, weaving in. Good pass, Staal in deep, wraparound, scores! Eric Staal, short-handed. In his 100th Stanley Cup playoff game, Eric Staal.
Now the bench is yelling here, Carlson's not there, so they forced a bad pass. And how about Lundell? He does a great job of keeping that alive. And there's one play for Hill, just got a little overplayed. I don't think he felt that Staal would have the speed to get the wraparound. Look at how far Hill was.
Eric Staal scored a shorthanded goal in the Stanley Cup Final in 2023. He is 38. It was a nice pass from Anton Lundell, but at the end of the day, it's still a wraparound goal. Shorthanded from Eric Staal. He's 38. That's wild, and that's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, Chandler Stevenson with an incredible setup to Jonathan... how do you pronounce it? Shouldn't have let him go in the expansion draft.
Just took away the side for Stone. He had nowhere to put the puck.
Made 168 saves in the Carolina series. There's a chance, scores! Jonathan Marchessault!
This costs Florida here. Watch Mark Staal. He goes in, you got three guys up, and now all of a sudden everybody panics a little bit, and three guys behind, nobody in the slot area. And when you're a little bit late on your aggressiveness and you get a pass like that, how about a backhand saucer by Stevenson through the sticks of maze of sticks right there, and Marchessault just gets it up enough.
Is it Marchessault? It's Marchessault. Well, it sounds the same to me. Woo! That's despicable. That's disgusting. And you cannot give a bad pass to Jonathan Marchessault right now, who didn't have a goal. Did not have a goal through the first round, and he might finish the playoffs with the most goals out of anybody. He has 12 in these Stanley Cup playoffs, still has not passed Leon Draisaitl. What a mutant. I love everything about this play. The finish from Marchessault, the setup from Chandler Stevenson, but even the effort from Shea Theodore to kick things off. A whole team effort. That's a hat pick. And speaking of Shea Theodore, here's Shea Theodore deking the skates, shin pads, pants, and jock off of Anthony Duclair.
Kudus knocks his man down. It'll come back to Theodore again, and a blocker stop as Bobrovsky directs that into the corner. One more time perhaps for Theodore. Walks the line. Gets away from Duclair. walking in, scores!
In front, Houghton's not going to get a plate on this one, but he's every reason why this one goes in. He's battling in front of the net and causing havoc. Theodore with his head up buys himself a little time, and that's just a wrist shot.
No! Listen, Anthony Duclair is incredible at hockey, but I'm bad at hockey, so I actually have more experience feeling what he felt there. This is the worst thing about hockey is that it's played on ice and you have to wear skates, because the guy goes that way and you want to also go that way, but your feet are just, no! Shea Theodore with a masterful move, and he floats it on. Great seeing eye shot. And there's the lead for Vegas, a lead that helped them get a win in Game 1. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, a lot of people sent us this goal. Brett Howden scored it, but who cares? Mark Stone with everything.
Staying onside, Carrier. Mark Stahl will send it back over Pietrangelo, 200 feet. Lundberg got caught up there with Adin Hill. And away goes Carrier. William Carrier, it's dumped off, scores! Brett Howden's got a pair. And it's 2 more power play goals for Vegas.
Plays physical, doesn't allow Montour to go by, gets his stick at the other end, and then shows great patience across here. A drive to the net opens up the lane, and then forehand backhanded in the back of the net.
He's going to break the stick right there, heads out and makes contact with the defender, knocks down Montour and heads to the bench, grabs the stick, and does some pretty good work with it when he gets it. It's a beautiful pass across and an outstanding move by Stevenson.
Despicable. Okay, I saw a number of people call this interference online. Let me be the first to say that not nearly enough penalties are called, no matter how many penalties are called in this league. Call the rules, the things on the ice need to matter! That being said, this hit from Mark Stone on Brandon Montour being interference? No. No. Probably not at any point in the playoffs, and definitely not in the Stanley Cup Final. So this is a sneaky thing we've seen more than once. Mitch Marner did this, I know for sure. Mark Stone broke his stick. He knows he has a broken stick, but it's not a visibly broken stick. And he's in a defensive situation, so he holds on to it. The second he is prepared to fly away from the defensive situation, he breaks the stick on purpose, yeets it across the ice, hits Brandon Montour, haven't seen that part of it, still doesn't have a stick by the way, skates by the bench, gets his stick, flies up the ice, stays onside, gets the pass, sends the pass, and it's in the back of the net. Mark Stone really is Mr. Everything in general, and especially on this play, the captain of the Vegas Golden Knights. Woof. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, I think it's exhausting when people say, oh, there's no more hitting in the game. There is hitting in the game. I don't think anyone's really calling for hitting to be out of the game. I think we're calling for illegal hits to be out of the game. And this hit ain't one of those hits. It's gruesome, it's hard as heck, but it's clean as a whistle. Matthew Tkachuk on Jack Eichel.
What a redirect stop by Adin Hill, and a huge hit there. Tkachuk catching Eichel, and everything's happening now. Is this for Eichel because he really got nailed.
And Eichel had no idea that he was coming. He had his head looking up ice, thinking about making a play. Did a nice job of getting away. Now he took a last-second peek and saw that Tkachuk was there. Oh, man, that's... Watch his last second, just realizes, and that's right on the right shoulder, shoulder to shoulder as Tkachuk knocked his helmet right off. Watch the right shoulder of Eichel as he tries to turn. He takes that whole brunt on the top of his shoulder blade, and his...
That contact is flush, shoulder on shoulder, A-OK. In fact, it was much more difficult for Matthew Tkachuk to connect cleanly on that one because at the last moment, Jack Eichel toe picks and falls into the hit. And thank goodness it was shoulder on shoulder, not just for the long-term health of Jack Eichel, but also I think the conversation coming out of that hit would have been exhausting. He shouldn't have made contact with the head, yeah, but what was he supposed to do? Eichel fell. We don't have to worry about that because it was shoulder on shoulder. Tough, Eichel did not look comfortable after the play, but it's a contact sport as long as it's clean, and it's a good hit. Getting to see that hit and then Eichel having a highlight in the next period in a game that he stayed in, that's like getting to have your cake and eat it too. Long road to get there, but that hit is a hat pick. In our final hat pick, last but not least, in a game where the Vegas Golden Knights had 7 goals, you'd think we'd end on one of those, but Vegas had at least 3 flurries in game 2 where I just stared at the TV slack-jawed wondering how on earth the Panthers hadn't scored. This one was probably the most unhinged. Adin Hill with a big assist from Shea Theodore off the goal line.
Now Tkachuk centers, comes back, Mahura shot, bounced off a stick to the net on the wide, and is it in?
I think it's in. Watch this bounce. His second chance there as Tkachuk keeps it alive. Oh, gets help from Theodore. I think got his hit stick in there before. It's starting to go. Looks like it's going to get there. And there's Theodore who helps out. And Adin Hill.
Hockey is not a game of inches. There are frankly too many Canadians in this sport for it to be a game of inches. It is a game of centimeters, metric, and that was centimeters, millimeters away from being a goal. And that's the difference. And that is a hat pick. So that is it for this week's edition of Steve's Hat Picks. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. One team is 2 wins away from the Stanley Cup. And the other team, they got some fight in them.